Welcome to day 2 of I Am Mom Summit. My name is Mona Sharma. I am a holistic nutritionist, a wellness educator, and most importantly, I am a mom to Elijah and to my baby girl, India. Today, it's my intention to address your wellness and really have you consider what your body is telling you so that you know exactly what to do in order to feel your best. It's my philosophy that if you start with you, optimizing how you feel, your mindset, how you heal, you can be more present as a mother. You can also go out there into the world and deliver your message more powerfully. When you're feeling great, your vibration sets the tone to thrive. You know that feeling when you're out there in the world and everything just seems to be working out, and even if we're thrown off, we don't necessarily sweat the small stuff because we're feeling so good? When we're not in this state, when we're not feeling great, this means that we're stuck in anxiety, worry, tension, fear. These are AKA low vibration emotions that don't necessarily fuel you. So it's time to avoid feeling depleted with simple changes and to understand that, we don't live in a world that necessarily supports making healthy living and healthy feeling easy. However, I have now been in this profession for over a decade, and I promise you it's possible. So stay with me. First, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm Canadian. I'm from Toronto. You're going to hear that come out in a little bit. My father is Indian and my mom is Danish, but I've only ever known my mother to have a severe autoimmune disease that's basically taken over her entire body. My father, with his insight, would take us to the mountains in Montreal to live at an ashram every summer. Now, ashrams are spiritual centers that really focus on food as medicine, yoga, meditation, living in nature, also living in community. And ultimately, it was about peeling back the layers of imbalance that are preventing us from feeling our best and essentially returning to, the joy of living. And this is a really great experience growing up. And what was so powerful about it for me is that they use Ayurveda. Ayurveda is an ancient Indian wisdom and science to heal the body. And honestly, this is where I saw firsthand the power of food and mindfulness to heal the body and slow down the effects of aging and disease, as it did with my mother. As a kid, getting up at 5 a.m. to meditate and do yoga was no fun at all. Growing up, I definitely took this experience for granted. Then it wasn't until my 20s and 30s that I started working in the corporate beauty world. For a handful of luxury cosmetic companies, and it was a typical corporate scenario. Working really long hours, lots of travel. It was a job that revolved around sales. We were out drinking a lot and eating a lot. I had terrible digestion. I was 40 pounds heavier. I had stopped getting my periods. I was also diagnosed as being perimenopausal. I had PCOS, and I was told at the time that I would probably have a really hard time having kids. So you can imagine my body was essentially shutting down. And then on top of all of this, earlier on, I had had 2 heart surgeries that left me on steroid medication. I was suffering from debilitating anxiety. I was feeling, just completely unfulfilled in my life, and I wasn't living my passion. I was completely just out of alignment. So I had to crash in order I made the decision to really change my life. And this is when I knew I had to be responsible for creating my change. And with the support of my then boyfriend, now husband, I left it all. I went back to the Shivananda ashram, this time in the Bahamas, where I lived for 2 months. I became a yoga teacher, a meditation teacher, and then a holistic nutritionist. And I took control of my life. I found my passion and I changed my vibration from those low vibration feelings that I mentioned to happiness, joy, and excitement about the possibility for my future. Working in wellness, I realized pretty quickly how many people, including the celebrities and athletes who always look great, were living their lives with similar symptoms and anxiety and going about life pushing down all of the feelings that they had. So, we call this ignoring the whispers that our body gives us. And our body is telling us all of these things as a sign to tune in. Does this sound familiar to you? So maybe let's start here. How are you feeling today? And really tune in. So avoid thinking about how you're feeling, take it out of your head. And I want you to feel how you're feeling. How are you feeling in your body, in your mind, in your spirit? And if you want to, you can also grab a pen and paper at this point, because you might want to write down some of these things and the symptoms that you have. On a scale of 1 to 10, what type of energy do you typically have day to day? 1 meaning you are really struggling and you may be maxing out on your coffee intake, and 10 meaning you have all of the energy that you need to do it all. Chances are there are very few of you between 8 and a 10 feeling energized. Many of you are most likely around 5, if not less, which translates into, you might feel like you're just getting by and you're probably feeling pretty depleted. Can you imagine what it would feel like to have the energy that you need to go out there and accomplish what you have to do and even more, and then be present with your family at the end of the day without giving them your leftovers? Can you think of other women in your life, coworkers or neighbors, who are probably feeling the exact same way? I think it's something that we probably bond over, right? Isn't it funny, when we ask each other how we are these days, we respond with, okay, or I'm so busy, instead of answering how we actually feel. Living life feeling okay isn't how we're meant to live. Busy isn't a feeling or an emotion. And we're choosing to dodge this answer because if we answer honestly, we feel like we're complaining. But there's a difference between, speaking about what you need and how you feel versus bitching and complaining. So let's tune in again. Answering a yes or a no, how many of you feel anxiety, worry, fatigue, bloating or gas, headaches, brain fog, poor concentration? Maybe you're feeling stuck or irritability. You could have sadness or depression. Could be easily tempered. Maybe you have sore joints, irregular periods, not having a bowel movement every day, low sex drive. Have you said yes to more than 3 of these imbalances? How many of you said yes to most of those imbalances? How many of you are suffering from these imbalances and pretending that it's normal or it's just not a priority for you right now? Just because these symptoms are common, they are not normal. Our bodies are always communicating with us, whispering to us, sending us symptoms that we must tune in. But because we live in a society where we hear from everyone how common they are, we ignore the symptoms. And the symptoms that I mentioned are the result of the accumulation that our body has. Whether they be from toxins, poor diet, poor lifestyle, poor digestion, poor thoughts, poor mindset, or even stress, they accumulate as feelings and physical symptoms in our bodies. And what happens is that if we ignore these little whispers over time, they turn into screams. This is usually the manifestation of dis-ease, or even worse, disease. And at that point, we're left with no other option than to deal with it. And chances are at that point, we have to sacrifice a lot more than the symptoms themselves. This way of being is becoming a habit. Whatever we repeat will become a habit, which then becomes our lives. Whatever mindset you allow every single day will manifest. It becomes you, and over time, it becomes harder and harder to make the changes that we need. We live in an era of hyper wellness, don't we? So many products, so many diets, so many scientific studies, so many things to try. And yet obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and even anxiety-related disorders are on the rise. They're higher than ever before. It makes no sense with the awareness that we have. And I know it's really confusing. If I'm confused, I know you are confused about what to eat. Nobody knows what the right plan is to be on. But food and lifestyle and self-care are intricately involved together. in the fight to prevent disease and optimize wellness. And diet specifically is related to so many of the diseases that are prevalent today. So not only are we confused about how to best care for ourselves or what to eat, we as moms are pulled in every direction, and we often fail to add ourselves to our list of priorities. We want to do it all. We want to do it all for everyone. We push ourselves too hard. We overextend ourselves. We often fail to say no to the things that do not serve us, but we also fail to say yes to the things that are going to help us grow. We compare ourselves on social media to the hashtag mompreneurs who are out there looking amazing, who are killing it, and they're making it look too easy. So we compare. I know this story quite well, and I've had to learn that in order to feel my best, to be present for those that I love, and to have the energy to do it and to run a business and be present for people and to work with my clients, I've had to figure out that the only solution is me. The only solution is you. When any of my old symptoms creep back in, I know that this happens when I'm out of alignment. And when that happens, my vibration is low. I'm not aligned with the way of being that I know I best deserve and the way of being that I need to do all of the things in this life that are going to make me feel good about myself. Okay, so my hope is that you stop looking for the perfect diet. No more diet mentality, because diet culture is basically deprivation. Depriving ourselves, going hardcore, being super restrictive. Who wants that long term? When my health and my happiness was at its worst, I was on the Atkins diet, by the way. I was always in keto. I was working out for hours at the gym, but my body was shutting down and I was depressed. And I did an amazing job at hiding those symptoms from everybody else. I think we all need to let ourselves off the hook for our health, for diet, for wellness mistakes that we've made, or for failures that we've had. It's overwhelming. So much information, both accurate and inaccurate. And furthermore, society is basically setting us up to fail. For example, did you know food scientists are hired to make foods more addictive? So even with your best efforts, you may be working with a chemical addiction to an ingredient or a food and you don't even know it. The quality of our soil is also becoming very depleted, so we're not getting the nutrients that typically come from the foods that we thought we would get. Fad diets are promoted left, right, and center without us even knowing it. And then emotions like stress and anxiety are reduced when gut health improves. Just by eating a variety of vegetables, you can boost your gut health, which optimizes your mood. Most people would rather go to a doctor to get a diagnosis to validate not feeling well than make the changes or the shift in mindset or diet or how they feel. This is not okay. And it's evident that people are tired of being and feeling sick and tired. And then things like too much stress, anxiety, these cause low vibration hormones. Anyone here suffer from hormone imbalance? They can actually become an emotion in your body and they affect how you feel. How is it even possible to go out there and do all the things that are healthy when we feel trapped? We don't notice the impact of something as simple as starting our day with a smoothie because we're stuck and not feeling good. We wake up and we're on, autopilot to go through our day with the same feelings, the same emotions, and the same foods just to make it through. If you imagine, your brain is like a computer's web browser with tons of tabs that are open, and going to an ashram is like closing down each and every one of those tabs to get back to what really matters. It's the training that you need in order to get back to a sense of self. Because when you prioritize yourself, you can take on what you have to do. When you're at the ashram, you change your vibration into a state of happiness and joy, because when you operate from that level, your mindset shifts. The things that typically would stress you out, impact your health, and cause imbalance shift. So this is why I brought the idea of the ashram in the city to my clients. And it's about taking something from each and every one of those pillars daily. And, it's really about that vibration. Now, vibration is defined as a state of being that's connected to happiness and to joy. When you're in this state, you naturally choose the things that are good for you and your body just responds. You know, a lot of people, when they go to the ashram, they put themselves in a great state and things happen without dieting, right? So, you know, when we think about this in a real life scenario, if we operate day to day from a low vibration, you know, think about a time when you felt really stressed out, where you felt anxiety or overwhelm. Maybe you had a fight with your partner, or you got cut off in traffic, or had too many deadlines that were due. Remember how that felt in your body. Remember the choices and the thoughts that you have. The analogy I use with my clients is called spinning. You get stuck in the mayonnaise jar and you really can't get out from those feelings. In that moment, are you more likely to go out and get an amazing loaded salad, or are you more likely to go to your comfort food, or maybe hit the drive-through, your comfort food, right? Being in low vibration is kind of like a screw it mentality, and screw it mentality is not something that serves progression. High vibration, on the other hand, what I would love you to do is imagine a time in your life when you were on vacation, when you felt rested, when you were at peace, when you were with people that you loved. You could feel the sun shining on you. You can hear the peace in the background. Think about the quality of your thoughts at that time. Chances are your mind was a little bit more quiet. You probably felt a sense of exhale. From that state, you choose what feels good for you. High vibration means happiness and joy and excitement and feeling peace. How differently could you show up in your business, for your family, for your life, for yourself, if you trained your mind to create this as your new set point every day before you even got out of bed? That's where the magic happens. If you want more energy and more happiness, stop focusing on whatever your weight is or whatever your health goal is, and start focusing on raising your vibration so that you can reawaken the health and the mindset and the body that feel really, really good for you, because it's the feeling that matters. So the good news, this vibration is already in you. You felt it. You know what it's like to change your state. And it's just a matter of us waking it up. When I work with my clients, I work with them to reawaken what already exists. And it's about creating new habits in your life. Habits are everything when you're trying to create long-lasting change. It's about doing the things that make us feel good, that make us feel great. And really, we've got to look at the principle of scheduling it. If we can schedule everything else in our life as a priority, it's time that we start scheduling our happiness. All right, so I'll get to a few tips in a few minutes, but as you go through your life and juggling it all, I just want you to imagine how you would feel going through those things, knowing that you are going to be part of the priority, part of the focus and feeling good, so that those symptoms naturally dissipate. Next is you've got to do your food prep, because self-care really starts in the kitchen. And I know it's typically the last thing that we want to be doing on a Sunday, but what if you considered your healthcare plan for you and your family as the preparation that you do so that you're not left eating junk throughout the week? You know, if we're not buying the crappy foods from the grocery store with the ingredients that we don't understand, you're not going to be growing the businesses of these companies that are making the food that makes us sick. If it's not in the house, you can't buy it. And then also, if you have pre-cut veggies that are always ready to go, you have snacks that are grab food, and food is medicine. Food is your fuel. So it's there ready to go when you need it, instead of reaching for the stuff that doesn't serve you. As for the kiddos, I know it's hard to get them to eat all of the veggies, but you have to lead by example. It could take up to 15 times before they even take one bite out of that new vegetable, right? But don't give up, because eventually it will work. This is one habit that was instilled within my mom. Every single night she had chopped up veggies on the table, or at least a salad at every meal. And the motto in our house was, eat it, it's good for you. And this is exactly what I say to my kids today. Next is your self-talk. Would you want me to live in your head for 12 hours and hear that voice in your head and what it says to you? Your body is listening to the quality of your thoughts. And this is why it's imperative that we change our habitual negative self-talk, because our cells are listening. Meditate for 3 minutes. Listen to something that's inspiring. Turn on music to change your state. watch something or someone that really inspires you to break the habit. And it's really, honestly, the mindfulness, every time you notice that you're having that thought, that's going to be the impulse to create change. Break the habit. Your mind and your body want to heal, so let them. Next is stress. We are all stressed, and our minds haven't upgraded to keep up with the technology and all the tools that are meant to keep us busy. And stress really shuts down digestion. So if you said yes to any of those digestive issues, then it's really important that you pay attention to your levels of stress and how you manage them. And most importantly, how you eat. Turn all devices off, keep them away, notice your mindset, attune to what you're about to do so that you're telling your body it's time to break down food, digest at its best, because when you are in a place of rest, you can digest. And you'll be able to assimilate the food. Remember, digestion is not just about, it's not you are what you eat, it's are what you break down and can then absorb, right? So think of this as fuel that will fuel your performance. If you are not getting the nutrients from your food, it's going to lead to deficiencies in your energy, your sex drive, your hormones, your creativity, you name it. So believe the hype that's out there around meditation. I promise you, it's going to be part of doctor's orders one day. How you do it, how do you manage to get it into your life? 5 minutes to meditate daily. Grab an easy app. If you have to do it while you're walking. You can do a walking meditation. If it's 3 minutes a day, then you do 3 minutes a day. It could be a mindful minute by closing your eyes and just tuning into how you feel and turning off the noise. Next is your gut. You have to love your gut. We have 3 brains, one in our head, in our heart, and in our intestines. And your gut microbiome is the one that calls the shots. It has the most nerve endings and sends signals to our entire body. You can take a symbiotic probiotic, which can absolutely help. But honestly, go back to food, the quality of food that you're eating. The quickest way to get results in your gut microbiome is to eat the rainbow. Eat the rainbow, eat a variety of fruits and vegetables, but eat them on rotation. So avoid being a creature of habit, as we typically do. We buy the same veggies every single week after week after week, and instead buy what's on sale. The more that you can get a variety of fruits and veggies, you're not only getting the variety of nutrients that they have, but also a variety from the soil that they were grown in. Go for a blood test. You are your own unique constitution. How could one diet work for every single person on this planet? It's impossible. If you want to optimize your health and your energy fast, you've got to understand your biology. I actually only work with my clients one-on-one when we understand their biology and what's happening in their body so that we know exactly where to start. You want to understand what the source of the imbalances that you're having, right? All of those symptoms are linked to an imbalance. So get to the root cause first, and then you know exactly what to do. And it could be something so simple as, for example, a vitamin D deficiency. Most of us are deficient in vitamin D. It's linked to over 100 things in the body. Something as hormone imbalance, low energy, fatigue, hormone function, even sadness are all linked to optimizing vitamin D. Go to your doctor. You can ask for a full panel blood lab test. If your doctor is not aware of this, then you can go to the Institute of Functional Medicine, ifm.org, to find a practitioner. And really, every symptom is an opportunity to understand how you can heal. So, if you think about this, think about your habits. What's one habit that you know intuitively is sabotaging your health? And what's one habit that you can start doing that you know is going to create really positive change? I know it's hard to start and create a new long-lasting habit. This is why the diet industry is booming. People want the quick fix. They don't want to do the work. They want the Band-Aid solution, right? On to the next. Let's see what else works. And, talking about mindfulness and how this is created in the body, Dr. Joe Dispenza is somebody you should check out. One of my favorite quotes is, "The same thoughts that we have always lead to the same choices. The same choices always lead to the same behavior. The same behaviors always lead to the same experiences. And the same experiences produce the same emotions. And these emotions drive the very same thoughts." So it's about creating a new future by creating new habits. You've got to make the decision, but you also have to make your reward really, really, really big. Build your evidence. Whenever you do something that feels good, that's something new for you, then recognize it so that you stay the path. Then of course you have to find your tribe. Whole health is about so much more than just food and supplements and exercise and water. We need a healthy mind, a healthy community, healthy social network. Surround yourself with people and women who don't let you off the hook. You're here to live the highest version of yourself and to create the best life. So start to focus on what you need to do to get there and the tribe that's really going to fuel your journey. And once you do that, you'll probably lead to greater changes at a faster rate because they're going to hold you accountable. So go after what you want and how you want to feel, not after what you think is going to be a solution. Really tune in, give up on quick fixes, and go back to eating real, wholesome, whole foods without ingredient labels. And let yourself off the hook when you go out there and splurge, because when your body is in a state of balance, it can handle all of those foods that might be off plan, but you've got to get back to a state of balance first. And you really have to get back to the pleasure in doing all of it. The only way that this is going to stay a new lifestyle habit for you is if it feels good. So my ask is that you do the work to get rid of all the limiting beliefs and decisions and ideas about the past that have left you where you are. All of the thoughts that are communicating to your body to be out of balance. And I'm asking you to replace those thoughts with an emotion and a feeling of I am enough. Repeat that to yourself every day. It's up to you to peel back the layers of your imbalance so that you can reawaken the health that's within you. So, create magic with your vibration, because it's in this state that you are unstoppable. And when you have a meltdown, or, you go out and you eat something that doesn't make you feel good, or you get really stressed, or you end up a few nights in a row just eating the scraps off of your kids' plates, remind yourself you're not falling off the wagon. It's just part of the journey. When you always have the feeling in the right place and your intentions are always focused on the higher good, your higher self, then you will stay the path. And my ask is that you really avoid being your own obstacle. Take ownership and accountability with simple mindfulness. Because when you do this, mindfulness on repetition over time is what's going to attune you to feeling really, really great. So that, like me, you will notice when your symptoms creep back in, you'll know exactly what to do. And that first starts with getting back to happiness. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time today. I'm so looking forward to connecting with all of you. If you'd like to find me, you can go and check out my Instagram page at Mona Sharma, or you can check out my website at monasharma.com. You're going to see a link there. I have an ongoing 30-day program where I offer as much education as I possibly can to people so that you're creating positive changes for life. So you can see that there. All right? So remember, do one thing every day to change your vibration, and keep me posted on how this feels for you. And tomorrow morning when you wake up, go back to your best self snapshot. Remember what it feels like to feel joy and happiness in your body so that it sets the pace for your day.